What if one night, as you were walking to go back home, you found a little girl who is crying because she's lost. She then asks you to take her home, where you encounter bizarre monsters like face-switching babies, giant masked caterpillar, and a horrifying baby creature that chases after you. And to make it worse, the little girl's house refused to let you go until you learn the dark history of her family. That is the basic premise of Stray Cat Crossing. Developed by Jurlo and JetPackGone, Stray Cat Crossing is an RPG Maker horror game that tells the story of a woman who one night while on her way home found a little girl named Cat crying on the roadside. She offered to take her home and even gave her own scarf so that she'll stay warm. What she didn't know was that this single act of kindness would lead her down a path filled with horrifying event, one that connects her with the little girl she just helped. The game begins with an unnamed woman whom we'll call C, noticing a little girl crying across the road. C asks the girl why she's crying, and the girl replies that she's lost and wants to go home. C agrees to take her home and gives a scarf to keep the girl warm. The girl, introducing herself as Cat, thanks her. After walking for some time, they arrive at Cat's house. Cat thanks C, but before C could say anything, she already enters her house. Surprised by this, C panics. The scarf she gave her holds sentimental value, so she must get it back. With no other choice, C follows Cat into the house. Surprisingly, the house's interior seems normal. A joyful tune echoes from the living room and a lone boy with a camera stands in the corner. This boy takes pictures of C and serves as a safe point for player, but do keep him in mind as he's an important figure. After exploring, C follows Cat's footprint to the basement, where she encounters two disturbing figures. These figures, called Babyface, welcome C as a guest. When she asks if they've seen a little girl, they evade her question, giving no clear answer. Sensing something was wrong, C asks to leave and inquires about the exit. The babyface told her that she can go, but only if she completes a favor. Reluctantly, C agrees. They initially request only one favor, finding the name of their dog, which C easily discovers by watching an old film reel that contains the name of the dog, Faust. But when she told him about it, they accused her of cheating and demanded two more favors, discovering the ram's favorite food and singing them a song. The first one is fulfilled by unlocking the chains on the ram's mouth in a room full of baby creeps, revealing a conjoined heart. The second is completed by reviving a dead bird to sing for the babyface. They're moved by its beautiful singing, but then all of a sudden one of them abruptly kills it, stating that dead things should stay dead. Still, a promise is a promise, and the babyface congratulates C for completing their favors. They told her she can leave but asked if she likes to stay longer. C declines, and though they seem disappointed, they honor their promise and let her leave. But as soon as she exits, the boy with the camera warns her that they won't let her go easily. Sure enough, the hallway rumbles and a giant baby with white eyes and sharp teeth appears. Shouting, "Don't leave." Horrified, C flees as fast as she can. C manages to outrun the creature and slams the door shut behind her. As she turns around, Cat is standing in front of her. When C is about to confront her, Cat suddenly mentions something about her mother and Benny, claiming she killed them. A little ominous there. What could it mean? Well, we won't find that answer for now, because after saying that, Cat immediately leaves and a bright light engulfs the area. When C opens her eyes, she finds herself outside of the house. Now, she could technically leave the place, but she needed her scarf since that item is important to her. So without hesitation, she enters the house one more time. The second time she stepped into the house, the air felt heavier, as if something had changed. There was no joyful tune echoing in the house. Instead, it was eerily quiet. As C looked around the house, she saw Cat's footprint again, this time leading to the garden. Exploring the garden, C met a giant caterpillar wearing a mask who invited her to drink. C declines her offers and instead asks if the giant caterpillar had seen a little girl passing by. The masked caterpillar said something strange about C and then completely changed the subject by asking her to rescue her child. Reluctantly, C agrees and went to search the kidnapper. C continues her exploration until she eventually heard a scream for help. It turned out that the scream belongs to the masked caterpillar's child. This child is called Grub, and as C tried to free him, a spider appeared. Only it's not a spider. It's actually 4 wolves stuck together. The wolves explained that they were stuck this way because the Sphinx had stitched them together. As one of them was explaining, another started making noise and it escalated into an argument. Grub then took this opportunity to tell C that she should help them find a cure. C again felt reluctant, but feeling she had no choice, informed the wolves that she would ask the Sphinx to free them in exchange for Grub. The wolves were skeptical at first but finally agrees to the term. It didn't take long for C to locate the Sphinx. For some reason, she's living in a Japanese-style house. But that's not the surprising part. You see, for someone whose name is Sphinx, her appearance is far from that. I mean, her head is a goat, similar to the one we've seen in the basement, and she wears a kimono. A weird combination, but since nothing makes sense in this place so far, this is hardly a weird thing. Anyway, as soon as the Sphinx saw C, she informs her that she already knows her request and agrees to free the wolf, but only if she could bring her a red larva from the dangerous maze. Determined to free the wolves and save Grub, C headed into the maze, despite the boy with the camera telling her not to. It took her a while, but after solving a few puzzles and avoiding the creature inside the maze, C managed to free the red larva and return to the Sphinx. After giving the red larva to her, we are treated to a horrifying scene of her devouring the poor creature. After she's done with her meal, she gave C a scroll that will break the wolf's curse. C returned to them, read the scroll out loud, and the wolves are separated. Good ending, right? Well, no, because the Sphinx never intended to separate them at all. Yes, the spell did manage to separate them, but it also leaves the wolf with only their upper half. A cruel outcome, but once you learn the truth, this is well deserved. You see, the wolves are not innocent. They ate the Sphinx child, which angers her, and as punishment, she stitched them up. As the wolves slowly died, Grub escaped, and a brief scene showed the masked caterpillar emerging from its cocoon. Finding no trace of the young girl in the garden, C decides to leave. She thinks she may never see the girl again, but upon re-entering the house, she finds her standing there. She turned to look at her, and it's revealed here that C's real name is Cat. The moment she speaks her name, a white light engulfs the area and Cat finds herself outside of the house. Again, she could leave, but her scarf is too important for her just to leave it there. And with the revelation that the younger Cat is connected to her, she knew she had to go back. So once again, Cat enters the house one last time. Entering the house, Cat saw a set of footprints leading upstairs. She followed it and it took her to the attic where a strange looking man with a creepy smiling mask greeted her. We learned that the scarf was given by him and he urged Cat to remember what's important to her before disappearing. After the strange man disappeared, Cat resumes her exploration. She looked around the attic and found several coffins filled with names that seemed familiar, yet she couldn't remember any of them. She examined them one by one and found a penny, a rose, and a crystal swan sculpture in 3 different coffins. All of these were important items needed for her to progress. She continued on and things became even weirder. For some reason, there was a theater in the attic. Several recognizable figures also appeared in this area, but they weren't hostile towards Cat. In fact, it seems like they didn't remember meeting her at all. Everyone acted as if they just seen her for the first time. Cat then interacted with the Nutcracker and learned that he wanted to leave the Sphinx mood by giving her a gift. Cat offered the rose and the Nutcracker happily said he'd take it in exchange for a ticket. With the ticket in hand, Cat entered the theater and was immediately confronted by a strange man wearing a red mask who appeared angry and mistaken her for an actress. Since Cat couldn't say no, she accepted it and went up. This part repeated itself 3 times. With each repetition, we learn more about Cat and her past. At the end of the 3rd act, it was revealed that the young girl we met at the start was actually Cat's younger self. A flashback then showed the night she ran away from home and met a blind boy holding a camera. Yeah, the same kid who kept taking pictures of Cat during her time at the house. She helped him by teaching him to take good pictures. This allowed her to think rationally about her action and decide to go back home. But just as she's about to do that, a cat appears on the side of the road. Cat realized that it was the same cat that the blind boy was searching. She went over to catch it, but a speeding car appeared and ran over the boy. The flashback ended and Cat finally remembered what happened that night. The man with the mask appeared and revealed himself as her father. He told Kat that it wasn't her fault and reassured her that everything would be fine before disappearing. The boy with the camera appeared and told Kat to leave the house since it was going to disappear soon. Kat ran as fast as she could and exited the house. The game ended with the boy disappearing, but before he went, he reminded Kat not to forget about everyone again and reassured her that everything would be fine. After he said that, the house disappeared, leaving behind an empty space. So, what exactly happened in Stray Cat Crossing? Why are we seeing two versions of Cat, and why in the end it shows a burning car? Let's start with the creatures in the game. All of them have meaning and they represent Cat's childhood. Faust is not a dog as the game depicts him. He's actually a doctor that treated Cat's sick mother. The baby face represents Cat's twin sibling, while the giant baby is a representation of the twins' death. This is why we see the baby still having its umbilical cord attached to its body, and the subtle hint given by the baby face where he said dead things should stay dead all points to one conclusion. The twins were never born because Cat's parents were involved in an accident. The Sphinx is a representation of Cat's mother, while the giant caterpillar emerging from the cocoon and living without her child symbolizes the illness that her mother has. Based on all this information, this is what happened in Stray Cat Crossing. Cat was an only child in the family and had all the attention of her parents to herself. But one day, her mother broke the news that she's having twins. This obviously upset Cat because she felt like her mother won't give her any more attention. It also doesn't help that both their parents were constantly arguing. The father, Benjamin, is most likely concerned for his wife because she's sick. So having a twin would put some strain on her body, but the mother insists that she wanted to have this baby no matter what. One night, Kat overheard her parents talking about the baby and how her mother felt excited for them to come. At that moment, Kat felt abandoned. She felt as if her parents didn't want her anymore, and to be honest, she also felt a bit jealous towards her new sibling for taking all the attention away from her. Heartbroken by this, Kat ran away. But unknown to Kat at this time, she accidentally hit the door as she was trying to run. This made her parent realize that Kat was listening to their conversation and might have got the wrong idea. Panically, both parents hop into the car and rush to find her. At this point, Kat was already far from her home. As she wanders aimlessly, she came across a blind boy holding a camera with his dog Sebastian. The blind boy told her that he was looking for a stray cat and showed her a bunch of pictures that he took, which were all blurry. Kat then teaches him how to hold it properly and he successfully took one. Not long after that, the stray cat appears and Kat tries to catch it, but as she moved close, a speeding car came crashing into the blind boy. This car belongs to none other than her parents. In a frantic attempt to find her, her father drives the car as fast as he could, which resulted in him not being able to react fast enough to avoid the boy. The car hits the boy and losing control, ending the lives of 5 people. Kat was horrified upon learning this. She immediately blamed herself for taking 5 innocent lives. If only she didn't run away that night, then this accident wouldn't happen. Unable to accept that she is responsible for this mess, Kat decided to forget everything by suppressing the painful memories. Years went by and Kat grew up. The incident was already behind her, yet she always felt like something wasn't right. One night while trying to cross the road, she saw a girl that looks familiar to her but she couldn't remember where she saw her. She decided to help her by escorting her back to her house. But this led her into a journey where in the end, she finally was able to forgive herself. Stray Cat Crossing is a beautiful game about forgiveness and finding the strength to move on. Kat meeting the younger version of herself is a symbolism of how she is unable to move on and forgive herself from the event that happened to her in the past. But throughout her journey trying to chase after the younger Kat, she met a lot of creatures that represents her family and friends, and in the end she managed to get closure, ultimately forgiving herself and finally being free from her guilt. Thank you guys again for watching. This game is really beautiful, yet it's also confusing at the same time. But then midway they decided to change it to be a more emotional type of game. That's how I feel as I was playing it. Anyway, if you enjoy my stuff, don't forget to subscribe so you get to see more content like this. Like the video if you enjoyed it, check out my previous video if you haven't yet, and become a member to support the channel and get early access and more interesting stuff on this channel. That's all. See you.